You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Let's get spooky. You found Earth Station Boo, where horror lives, legends linger, and laughs are always waiting. Stay with us. You know you're dying to listen. And welcome to the Spooky and Kooky podcast of Earth Station Boo, where we talk all things horror. Introducing your horrorholic host with the most. We got our kick-ass Karen.
What up, my horrorholics?
I am your terrifying T, and we are going to be diving into another haunted Chuck E. Cheese situation with the wonderful Nick Cage movie, Willy's Wonderland. So let's get spooky. Are you a horrorholic? Then take your horror obsession beyond the podcast. Check out Earth Station Boo's merch store for killer designs to let the world know that you live for the scares. You can also join our Discord and hang out with fellow little ghouls, talk monsters, movies, and midnight madness. And if you want to support the show directly, visit our throne to keep the screams and laughs coming. Find everything in our link tree, and remember, stay spooky.
What's this? Discussions of thrilling new Star Trek episodes. Incisive debates on legacy Star Trek topics. What could it be? Star Trek! This is Earth Station Trek, a show where we trek from the early days on NBC to the future on Paramount Plus and everywhere in between. Star Trek! Earth Station Trek, live on YouTube Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, or listen after on your favorite podcast platform.
Alrighty, so back in 2021, this film was made during the pandemic, or actually made just before the pandemic hit. We have Willy's Wonderland. It is a Chuck E. Cheese-esque thing, starring the one and only Nick Cage. So, Karen, give us the plot of Willy's Wonderland, and then we'll dive in.
Nick Cage. Nick Cage plays the main character. He has no dialogue.
Not a single word.
He gets stuck in the middle of nowhere and has to run down Chuck E. Cheese, but it's known as Willy's Wonderland, and it's cursed, and it's devolves into chaos and funniness and ripping of animatronics. And these group of kids are trying to save him, but they don't know what he could do. So he's kicking ass, not taking names. This is kicking ass.
Yep.
And then holds a small little funeral and continues to clean. Much fun it's had. Or not fun, depending on how you see it. Well, for the animatronics, not fun. But for him and everybody else, much fun.
Yeah. Now, this is a fun little flick. But let's just go ahead. Let's dive right on into it. When did you first see this? And, what was your expectations going in to this movie? Did it deliver for you?
Oh, hell yeah. I saw the commercial for it in the trailer. I was like, oh, this is going to be fun. Because, Nick Cage and stuff is fun. Because he's just out there and unhinged. And I love it. I love his quirkiness. And so when it came on, I didn't have a chance to see it in theaters. And I was like, damn it. But when I got to watch it, and I was like, this is my comfort movie now. Between Shaun of the Dead and Willy's Wonderland, love it. It met my expectations for a movie.
So I had completely forgot about this movie. I hadn't seen it when it first came out, but I knew it was a movie that I'm like, ooh, I do kind of want to see this because I do enjoy Nick Cage movies. I think he's hilarious. I'm down for it. And for some reason, I haven't seen this until we did this episode. And then I watched it and I'm like, this is fucking hilarious. This is absolute gold. I kind of went in with no expectations because I didn't want to be disappointed, but I also didn't want to set myself up for any which direction. It's one of those go in, see what you have to see. If it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad, but it is what it is. And so when I went in, I was like, all right, let's just see. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think I watched it 3 times over the course of the weekend because it was so much fun to watch.
It is so much fun to watch.
Right? How do you think this premise holds up as a full feature film? And do you think it needed to be more complicated, or it just being straight up like hey, this is a haunted Chuck E. Cheese and it's haunted by perverts and the town is in on it, and they set this guy up for essentially failure and he surprises them and kicks ass?
Oh yeah, like so the whole.
Do you think that held up for a full feature film?
Oh hell yeah! Oh hell yeah! You got your little backstory. Then you got the poor little janitor who turns out to not just be a janitor, but somebody who's like, the fuck. What did you do in your past life?
Right.
And yeah, you had these little kids doing the dialogue, but you already knew from the beginning that shit's gonna go down.
Mm-hmm.
And it held up for me. I was like, I would watch this before I watch FNAF. If I had a choice, I'm like, I want to watch Willy. Woo.
Which we will, for anybody who has seen this and or knows like that this and FNAF have a lot in common, we will talk about that. That is, we'll save that to the end of the episode. Because there's just so much to talk about when it comes to this. But I think it did hold up. I think it's actually a great premise. I actually could have seen this as a TV show. Like, I feel like there was just enough of a backstory of the town being in on like the weird possession stuff going on with the animatronics that like you could have had a couple of episodes on that. You could have had like episodes about like some of the other people, because they gave like glimpses of other people who tried to do the janitor job and failed because they ended up getting killed by the animatronics. Like, I think they hit everything that they needed to hit without it being excessive. But had they gone into more detail, it could have been like a good like little mini series TV show.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But no, this was really great. And especially considering this is a very lean film. It is only 88 minutes. Do you think they used the runtime efficiently? Or do you think like there were parts that were kind of like padded or rushed for this film?
I mean, I would think like, with Liv doing her monologue about the history, that was kind of padded.
Yeah.
But it worked well in the movie, especially if you didn't have that many flashbacks to like, tell what people was going on. But, 88 minutes to tell a story, and for what, $1 million budget, $5 million budget with practical effects, it held up really good.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed the hell out of it. It's funny. It does tell a story. I'm like, yeah. 88 minutes to enjoy life. Okay, cool.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like they could have added probably a few more minutes and it might have helped, but I don't think it took away. I think it just would have been more content.
Oh yeah.
Like I think they were very efficient with the 88 minutes that they use, especially considering like that it was also a very short time for filming, and it was right before the pandemic hit. So before they had all like the weird procedures and stuff. Now, here's going to be the real question, because this was kind of a topic when it came to FNAF. Is Willy Wonderland actually scary? Or is it a horror comedy that leans a little bit more horror? Or, a little bit more comedy? And if it does that really matter for you?
It's a horror comedy. Yeah, it leans more into the comedy section of it. But what's more horrifying than animatronics trying to kill you?
Yeah.
And you're in one central location that is supposed to be closed off or locked in. And then you realize he's throwing away trash outside. Isn't it the whole building supposed to be locked? What's going on? And that's the whole comedic part of it. He could have left any time and then came back like, yeah, I cleaned it. But no, he stayed, cleaned it. And, it's funny. It's a horror comedy that leans heavily into the comedy.
Yeah. I agree on that. The and as people know, because I think we've said it since like day one, we love horror and comedy together. Two sides of the same coin. So, it definitely It is definitely a horror comedy. I actually do think it is scarier than what I was expecting. Kind of like going into it, I was like, oh, this is a little darker than I thought it was going to be. But it was still very funny, especially his little like dance thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the little pinball dance.
Like he's like so my spirit animal because I love pinball. I would probably like take my, just stop every once in a while to play some pinball. Yeah, that'd be me.
Mm-hmm. But like when he did that, I cracked up. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? You have this fight going on and you're gonna go drink your little soda pop. You're gonna go play your pinball game and you're gonna do your little dancey dance. Okay. Groovy. Gotcha. Speaking of the janitor, though, and his religiously timed breaks throughout the film, including pausing mid-battle to play pinball, is that kind of like the greatest character quirk in modern horror comedy or what? Like,
oh, me. Yeah. That's totally me. Like, oh, break time. I'm going to go play some pinball. But for me, it wouldn't be like, energy drinks. It'd be like root beer. I was like, what? You're drinking root beer? Yes, motherfucker. I'm drinking root beer and I'm playing my pinball machine. Leave me alone.
And it's like a very
That's
like
totally me.
Niche drink. Like it's something that you're like, okay, he picked this up from some strange place, had like almost an endless supply of it, and then was like just going to town and drinking it religiously, like it felt like it was like every hour.
Yeah, it was like every hour.
His little Casio watch would go off, and he's like, all right. He just kind of turn, look around, be like,
well, break time.
Go off, grab his drink it down, plays pinball. I think he had a couple of hot dogs in the one scene.
I mean, they did say like you could have whatever you want, as long as it's there. And I'm like, cool.
Yeah, but like, I honestly love that. I thought that was like when you have a character who doesn't talk, to have them have like this like unique thing that they do outside of that was like just top tier. I really enjoyed that. It really added to the comedy of the entire thing.
And the fact that, poor girl, like they're in the middle of the fight, and then he was like, and he hands her the knife and then goes to do what he has to do for like 15, 30 minutes. And I'm like, that poor girl don't know how to defend herself. What are you doing? Come back here.
But she did a great job.
Her. She did a good job.
She did a great job. She lasted
longer than her friends.
Longer than anybody, it seems like.
Yeah. I mean, she lasted longer than her friends, really. I mean, come on. They kind of died.
Like
quickly.
So quick. So quick. And what kills me is like she's like, guys, get out of here. Don't be in here with me.
I'm like,
and they're just like, no, it's okay. We'll be here. And then like they stand there with their thumbs up their asses and then get murdered one by one.
You knew going in. You knew what this place was like. And yet you're going to stay here and watch.
Mm-hmm.
Be mesmerized and shit? No.
Or be watched.
Yeah.
That pervy alligator.
Right. Artie, you perv.
Yep.
And it's typical of a scary movie because you have teens having sex.
And then dying because of it.
Mm-hmm. And dying because of it, yeah. And they're splitting up. I'm like, don't split up. No.
I mean, staying together didn't really help the one dude.
You're not the Scooby-Doo gang. Y'all gonna die.
Obviously, Willy Wonderland is a take on like the Chuck E. Cheese nightmare aesthetic. This one, I think, even more so than some other ones. There was a lot about it that I'm like, oh, that really reminds me of like our local Chuck E. Cheese. That's kind of creepy. The neon, the grime, the weird colors. Definitely retro 80s Chuck E. Cheese core. How effective?
We don't have a Chuck E. Cheese anymore.
We got 2 in my area.
Yeah. Ours closed down.
I haven't been to them in a hot minute, but we also have we still have like a Celebration Station, and there's, I want to say 2 Dave and Buster's not too far from here also. So we got like, yeah, so we still have some of all that kind of crazy stuff. Do you think that kind of helped with the horror aspect of it all, though? The whole
Oh yeah, like I said,
almost abandoned Chuck E. Cheese vibe.
yeah. Because like I know there's a phobia of animatronics,
Yeah.
and so to be stuck in a place like this, and then you have first off, a closed down funhouse or former Chuck E. Cheese.
Mm-hmm.
That's creepy on itself. Especially if you're locked in and you're like, this place hasn't been cleaned in forever. There's probably spiders and snakes and stuff up in here,
Yeah.
and mildew and mold and bacteria. The level of dust in here, yeah, that's creepy right there. And then you have these broken down animatronics that's still there,
Mm-hmm.
hasn't probably been taken care of. Like, just take out the curse aspect of it, okay? They haven't been taken care of. They're this there. And some of them, probably like have lost their skin, eyeballs hanging out, that is looking
Musty and dusty.
musty and dusty. So, yeah, all of it is just scary in one area. I mean, I don't have a phobia of animatronics,
Mm-hmm.
but I think one it's called animophobia or something like that. It's a fear of animatronics, or a fear. And there's also another one called the fear of animatronics underwater. That is, I'm kind of ooh.
That is very specific.
Yeah, I'm kind of ooh. Okay, I'm on TikTok a lot. Okay, that's where most people can find me. It's on TikTok, and there's this young lady.
Same.
She has submechanic phobia. It's basically animatronics that has been submerged. They're submersible animatronics. And I can understand that fear,
Mm-hmm.
especially if they've been abandoned.
Yeah.
Because she was talking about this one area in Oregon, whatever, up north.
Mm-hmm.
They have this Moby Dick whale that's an animatronic, been abandoned. Still, you can see it from Google satellite. Still there. That's how big it is. So I understand that fear. If you're going to that location that has dead animatronics, that is scary. That is totally scary. So that little isolation, yeah, that's this fear factor for me. I probably won't be afraid. I mean, I'm like, it's just a place. Now, if those animatronics start moving, I won't be like the janitor and beat the living shit out of something. Like, why are you moving? Don't move.
That's fair. That is absolutely fair.
And everybody like, Karen, what's wrong? Are you okay? Shut up.
No, that is absolutely fair. I think it's more that it's like an abandoned funhouse type thing. I know it's not like a true funhouse, but like, it's an abandoned kids area from the 80s. There's nothing about it that's redeeming.
No,
Nothing.
not a damn thing.
Like, I'm not even putting the animatronics in there. Like, just that. I'm like, no, that doesn't seem like a wise place to go to. Then you add the animatronics on top of that. Peace out, Cub Scouts. I'm not. No, I am not doing that. Now,
And what's so funny is like when we had a Chuck E. Cheese, my youngest niece, she wasn't afraid. Like most kids are afraid of animatronics because it's a big thing. She's like 2 years old, standing and laughing at the animatronics and dancing with it. And I'm like, most kids your age will be screaming, but you're a survivor.
Yep. That or she's been around her Aunt Karen enough to know that everything's kosher right now. If we were alone, power was out, my ass would be outside.
Yep.
What stood out to you with this film, especially considering it had a $5 million budget?
What stood out really is like the fighting scenes with the janitor beating the crap out of the ostrich, the gorilla. I mean, that whole scene with the gorilla and the whole splatter of this oil and stuff. That was my favorite scene. I was like, all right, we're done. We're done. We're done.
Yep.
I don't think any deaths could top that. And that was
a good one. That was a really good one.
And then, Willy comes and I'm like, you died like a bitch.
Right.
Let's go back to the gorilla scene. Because that scene for me, like that visually, it was beautiful. for me, it was visually beautiful. And like, I would have been pissed off if somebody wrote on my window, on my that clean. He cleaned the bathroom. I'm like, did you write on my clean mirror? No, we're gonna fight, and he fought.
Oh yeah.
And then he did the curb stomp. And I was like,
yeah, he did.
This segment right here, best part of the movie.
I won't lie. I also really liked it when he ripped the alligator's mouth.
Oh yeah, that was kind of cool too.
That was pretty cool too. And like half the budget was Nick Cage's t-shirts that he kept changing out of.
I mean, you have to think about it. Like, how many t-shirts do you need? A lot.
He changed them after every kill, though. He was like, all right, I need a clean tee.
I mean, that's a good janitor. I mean, you don't want a dirty tee while you because it might smudge on your clean stuff.
And that's fair. But it cracked me up. That was like another fun little quirk. But yeah, I think they did great with that budget. $5 million. And you had Nick Cage.
Oh yeah.
Actually, there was a couple of pretty big names in this film. Like, this wasn't just a note filled with nobodies. There was actually some pretty decent people in there.
I mean, TJ Miller was there.
Beth Grant was in there. Beth Grant, who she always plays a bad guy and does such a good job. But yeah, no, they knocked it out of the park with that. They were so good with that budget. Like, I kind of wish more people made movies like that instead of going, we just need all the money and then we can make an amazing film. You can still make a really good film with next to nothing.
Oh yeah.
Especially if you have the right cast, the right crew. The only thing I will say is that if they had a slightly bigger budget, I think their animatronics could have looked a little bit better.
Oh yeah.
Because I won't lie, personally, the animatronics did kind of look like people in a suit.
Yeah, they did.
and not really like animatronics. So we kind of talked about it already, but Nick Cage has zero dialogue. He was supposed to have one line in the film. And the writer of the film, the director of the film, and Nick kind of were like, okay, so here's this one line you're supposed to have. And he's like, yeah, I don't think he's going to say it. No, it's not going to happen. So he chose not to say anything through this entire film. He's like, nah, my character wouldn't do that. So that means every emotion and action was carried through simply body language. There was the occasional grunts and things like that, but I feel like those are things that you can't really avoid, Oh, yeah. But he had no real dialogue. How impressive was that for you, though, in his, storytelling?
For me, it's really impressive to, act out without having dialogue as a character.
Right.
I know there was, another movie. It was a Robert Redford movie that he had no dialogue. And to be able to act out your emotions, your quirks without dialogue is very fucking impressive.
Mm-hmm.
And it held up for me because I'm like, sometimes you just don't want to talk,
Yeah.
Sometimes you just want to grunt at people. I have to deal with you? No, I'm just going to not talk. But him not talking at all through the movie and just, did facial expressions, dancing, and that made the film.
Right.
That made the film for me.
Absolutely. I think even when he was interacting with characters who did talk, at first, for a good portion of the film, you were like, well, he didn't really have to say anything. He made a face. He was communicating, just he wasn't talking. When he was talking to the mechanic or the car guy, and the guy's like, oh, I don't take card, I only take cash. And Nick just looks at the broken ATM. The guy automatically knew. Nick didn't even have to say anything. He's like, oh no, yeah, that we don't have internet here. Which, bull fucking shit. You have a full town with no internet?
Yeah, when he said that, I was like,
I'm calling shenanigans on that. But okay. But it was just one of those deals of it only got weird to a certain point. Like it's fine until like a certain point, and then you're like, oh, he doesn't talk. And not because he can't, because he does not want to.
Yeah.
And like you can just tell that it's like, no, you don't deserve to hear me speak. It's just like, okay, snap, snap. That's awesome. I actually think this might be one of his most underrated roles. Because like to be able to perform and do a whole movie that you're starring in and have no dialogue.
Oh, yeah.
This is why he has the reputation that he has, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That man does quirky.
But you know what? He's got such range.
He does.
We'll have to do a Nick Cage episode because he has quite a bit of horror under his belt as well. Which I've got a friend who would love to be on that episode. Her obsession with Nick Cage is absolutely insane.
I mean, I was really, I was obsessed with him for a while growing up because I was like, he's very handsome and he's very versatile. Because I remember watching Raising Arizona, and I was like, that man has range.
He does, because you have him in like silly hee hee ha ha funny whatever, and then you have him in things like Long Legs, or like I know people love to make fun of National Treasure, but he actually did a really good job as like an action star in that.
Oh yeah.
You know, he has serious roles. But speaking of other legends in this film, we have Beth Grant, who, like I said, she's usually pretty good at playing, maybe not necessarily the villain, but like the nasty lady that nobody likes character. She plays the sheriff, and even though I think she's unhinged, she kind of is like a grounding character for the storyline. How important do you think like her character and its implications in the film worked for the film?
I mean, you have that serious character, and she was that serious character, but you also knew that there was something going on in the town because of the fact that she is the sheriff and she's not really doing anything about the disappearance and whatever that was happening. And yeah, she is a bit unhinged. So she handcuffed her adopted daughter to whatever and left a bucket. Yeah. Like, whatever that be? Here's the bucket. I'm like, damn, you must not like her.
Right? Especially when like the girl is trying to get rid of the problem. That was like, I think what for me made the sheriff so unhinged. It was like,
I mean, she even said something about like, we tried to get rid of the problem and we had plans for it. And the next day somebody ended up dead.
But then they still didn't go through with the plans. That was where I was like, okay, blow it up, burn it down to the ground. Like, you guys tried once and it wasn't even a full try. Like,
no, it wasn't even a full try at all.
Like, it was
at least Liv was trying to do something.
Exactly.
And then she gets arrested by her mom.
Right? It's one of these deals where I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, I get that you're wanting to protect your town, but like, you literally did not do anything in order to protect the town. Not a single fucking thing. Except for, okay, we'll give you guys a sacrifice.
You don't need a sacrifice.
My dear, you are absolutely fucking insane. But speaking of Liv, who kind of had like history with Willy, how do you think she holds up as basically the second lead for this film?
Like, as a teenage character, she annoyed the fuck out of me. I'm like, you're a typical teenager. I'm like, this is a typical teenager making me pissed. I'm like, I'm an adult. I know what's going on, but you're pissing me off. But that's okay. She did a good job as lead. Like, she tried to protect her friends.
What specifically did she do that was pissing you off?
For one thing, I'm like, you're trying to set fire to something. Okay, like, there was like several instances that pissed me off. Number one, yeah, you're trying to save this dude, okay? But the dude doesn't want to be saved. He knows something that you don't. Then you're going to go off by yourself into the building with no weapon. Well, you kind of sort of did have a weapon, but that's a teeny-ass weapon. That's a teeny-ass knife. I wouldn't even call that a weapon. That was like, dink.
Yeah.
If you're going to go into someplace, you better bring yourself a weapon. Like, bring yourself a machete.
Or a gun.
Or maybe an axe. You could, like, hit
your mom's a cop.
Or a gun. Right? That was what pissed me off. I was like, she has extra guns. You could have took one of them and then go in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then you to go by yourself. At least have one of your friends go with you. Have them have your six, man. Okay? They should be like your ride or die friend. Go in there protecting your butt. You protect their butt, they protect your butt.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully y'all both come out alive.
Right.
I'm like, don't go into a situation. I know you know the situation. I know you have history with this, but don't go in by yourself without a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
At least both of y'all have a weapon, have twice as much chances to survive.
Right.
This is not Crystal Lake with Jason. Okay? One of you is going to survive, but not all of you.
Mm-hmm.
So that would piss me off. I was like, you went in there by yourself with no weapon.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, she was trying to protect her friend, which I'm cool. She was trying to protect her friends. But one of y'all bitches is going to come with me. We ride or die.
Yeah.
If you can't tell me we ride or die, then why are you with me?
Exactly.
Okay. Y'all can stay outside, do the perimeter. Me and old dude gonna be in here trying to get the dude out.
Mm-hmm.
And then we roll.
Yeah.
That's it. But Liv, she was a good second character. Pissed me off sometimes. Like I didn't need to hear your whole story, but I understood it because we needed it for this movie.
Yeah.
But take a weapon with you next time. Always take a weapon with you.
Smarter, not harder.
Right.
No, I mean for a second lead, she did great. I think, especially when you have such a character like the janitor, Nick Cage's character, who is so isolated, like in comparison to like everybody else in the film. Like he very much is like a lone entity. To have her as like I actually thought she was more like the grounding / anchoring character for this film. And it was because she had a connection to the town. She had a connection to Willy's. And she was the one who's like, no, we need to destroy it. No, we need to end this. I think she did great, especially for being a teenager.
Oh, yeah.
Because was she like 16, 18?
Somewhere around there.
Somewhere around there. I mean, and she's the one who seemed to have like the most info on the animatronics. So these animatronics in Willy's Wonderland are possessed of the souls of a cannibalistic killer and his 7 psychotic disciples. How do you feel about that backstory? And do you think it was kind of effective as a function for the horror villains?
Oh, yeah.
And mind you, here's the roster of animatronics. You have Willy, who's a weasel. You have Artie the alligator, Cammy the chameleon, Ozzy the ostrich, Nightly the knight, Tito the turtle, Gus the gorilla, and Siren Sarah.
So the animatronics.
Yeah.
Number one, I was like, why do you have a fairy when everybody else is kind of like animals?
And she's supposed to be a siren.
Supposed to be a siren, but she looks like a fairy.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. So the backstory, I mean, it was funny. I actually enjoyed the backstory. They're cannibalistic killers, and they have their, he has his disciples, and I'm like, that's funny. I actually like their backstory, because how else are you gonna possess like animatronics? So you make a deal with the devil, become immortal. Ish, because at some point the animatronics is gonna like break down.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna fix you, and they will probably have somebody like beat your ass up. So yeah, I like the backstory. It's campy. It's a campy trope for a campy movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it can't get much better than that.
No, I don't think so. I actually don't mind it. I think there's a lot there though that they could have gone more into. Or they could have like backed off of. You know what I mean? It's almost like a weird mythology that you're like, okay, how much more do I want to know? Like, would this make a great prequel? Like how everything got like possessed and whatnot? But yeah.
My whole thing is like, why are you why are y'all satanic? Are you doing it for fame, fortune, immortality?
Yeah. It was just there was a lot of open holes in that plot device.
Now, if they made like a sequel or prequel to it to answer that question, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah. I feel like there was enough detail that you're like, okay, cool, it works for this. but it left you with questions if you wanted more information. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I think the animatronics, like, idea-wise, great. I just think the execution could have been a little bit better, personally. Obviously, they used a lot of practical animatronics type things versus, like, the CGI type stuff. How do you think the creature designs kind of held up? And do you think that do they compare well to other killer puppet / animatronics in horror today?
I mean, I'm glad that they used practical effects, not CG.
Mm-hmm.
They're not as impressive as FNAF, but for their budget, they did pretty good. I mean, it kind of does remind me of cheap animatronics from, sideshows and tourist traps and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it also kind of reminded me of the old animatronics. Yeah, I forget what they are. I forget the name of it, but they were like a bear band.
Oh, the one over at Disney.
Yeah, they kind of remind me of those. They have that nostalgic feeling to me.
Okay.
I'm like, I remember those. Yeah, like that. So they could have like done a better job on some of the animatronics, especially Willy. I'm like, you're kind of looking sad there, Willy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the best one I saw was like Nightly. At least he had like a sword and all that, and I was like, he's kind of put together.
Yeah.
Why aren't all of y'all put together? Like he's the best looking one here.
The Country Bear Jamboree.
Yeah. So I'm like, Willy could have gotten a lot better than what he did. He got the short end of the stick. I mean, but then again, he got killed faster. Got killed like a bitch.
He did. I mean,
But
he kind of was a bitch.
yeah, he was.
Let everybody else fight his battles for him.
After the first one, after the first fight, I'd be like, you know what? Let's not fight him. Let's hold off.
Yeah, that's fair. Absolutely fair. I think the kudos for using practical, real life, effects. But again, the execution was just so lacking in comparison to some of the other ones. We've done FNAF 1 and 2. I won't lie. They knocked it out of the park with their animatronics. The amount of attention to detail that they went in with the stunt people for those characters, it's great. And I get that this film was basically made in like 3 months. Like they got greenlit in like November, December, something like that. They started filming and then were done filming when the COVID restrictions started. They didn't have a whole lot of extra whatevers. But for being low budget, the animatronics weren't horrible, but they were people in suits.
Yeah, if they had enough time to film and have somebody pay attention to details with the animatronics, it would have been so much better.
Mm-hmm.
It would have.
Yeah.
Give them extra $5 million. I think it would have been so much better.
Honestly, I think an extra $1
or $2 million.
Because yeah, the animatronic look wasn't like the best, but you don't need another $5 million to make them look better. Because they could just strictly be like fursuits over robotics, and that's fine. What that money should go towards would have been giving the actors who played those characters time to actually function like a robot. Because I think that is what really works with FNAF or some of the other ones. They've had time to walk and move and do things to make themselves look animatronic. And I feel like that was the thing, is that like Siren Sarah didn't look like she was walking and moving like an animatronic. She was walking around like a human, And
if you look at her, she was like more humanish than everybody else. And that's kind of like took me out of the situation. I was like, y'all could have made her into like a sloth or something that begins with an S.
Mm-hmm.
But you made her into a siren, which is actually a fairy because she looks like a fairy.
Yeah.
And if they made her more of an animal, I've been okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
And they could have made her like a parakeet, a Sarah the siren, and she's like a bird.
Mm-hmm.
That'd been awesome.
Yeah.
Another bird character, that'd been awesome.
Right. I mean, the whole reason they had even the alligator and the chameleon is because Nick Cage likes reptiles and was like, hey, can you make two of these guys reptiles instead? And so the guy was like, yeah, sure, why not? And so that's why they had those. Was there an animatronic that was like your favorite, like overall? I mean, I know we like the gorilla's death, but like, did you have like a
Oh
favorite
yeah, that's
animatronic? Or was there one that you were like, okay, this one is a little unsettling?
okay. So the chameleon was kind of unsettling. I was
Mhm.
like, you don't look like a chameleon.
Yeah.
You look like an alien.
Yeah.
Mm. I know you have a tongue that's supposed to be like a chameleon, but you look more like an alien. And the fact that her colors were changing to make her look like a representation of a chameleon, I was like, that those colors aren't working.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you more defined as a space alien.
Yeah.
That was like my least favorite animatronic. Second, that would be like Sarah the Siren because she looked too human. We didn't really get to see that much of the ostrich. I thought it was a cool build,
Mm-hmm.
but poor boy like died like in the first 5-10 minutes, and I would have like shoved that whole broomstick up his butt. That would have been like a kill of all. Like that would probably made Willie stop. Like, oh, this chick just shoved a whole broomstick up his butt.
Right.
Let's think about this. Let's think about this. Let's think about this. You really didn't get to see like a lot of them. I would like to saw like a little bit more of
Yeah.
each character. Poor Tito.
Right.
Poor Tito.
Well, kind of, yeah.
Yeah, kind of. But still, he could have gotten, a little bit more time.
Mm-hmm.
Like all of them could have gotten a little bit more time, really.
Yeah.
I felt like we were
some of them
like
felt rushed.
short ended. Yeah, we kind of short changed some of them. Like we got to see more of Sarah the Siren and more of the gorilla because you saw his death. Like his death was amazing.
Yeah.
But you didn't really get to see so much of the others. We saw Cammy the chameleon, and I'm like, you look more like an alien.
Yeah.
But okay. But I would love to see like a little bit of backstory for every one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Not like in full detail. Like, if I was watching 13 Ghosts, yeah, I want a full detail of those ghosts because those are amazing. Those are interesting.
Yeah.
You guys give me like an extra 2-3 minutes of your backstory and that'll be cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I want to know a little bit more about you guys.
Mm-hmm.
But
like Sarah seemed more conniving than the other ones.
Yeah.
And so it was like, okay, well, that's interesting.
Like, are you Willy's girlfriend?
Mm-hmm.
Were you pulling in all the rest of the members?
Yeah. Like I need more information.
Like maybe that's why Willy died a quick death because you're actually the leader.
Mm-hmm. So this script actually caught Cage's attention after it became popular online. And he agreed to join both as an actor and producer. What do you think that says about his instincts and willingness to commit and complete an unhinged product like this?
It tells me that he understands the craft better than most people think he does.
Mm-hmm.
You could read a script and be like, oh man, this is crap. And then you could read a script like, oh man, this has
potential.
Amazing.
Yeah.
This has potential. And even though everyone thinks he's like, this quirky, strange guy, he's actually very down to earth.
Mm-hmm.
He just likes acting. He likes the story aspects of acting.
Yeah.
Like for me, you, and everybody else is like, oh, that's a stupid character. No, he'll own that character.
Oh yeah.
And that just tells me he loves his craft. He loves doing what he loves doing.
Yep.
And that's just telling a story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I have yet to watch the Spider Noir one, but people are like, "Oh, that's amazing! He did an amazing job." That just shows his range.
Yeah, no, exactly. He has been in the industry since infancy. A lot of people, I feel like this is like a common thing that people do know, but then like I talk to people and they're like, "I didn't know this." He's related to Francis Ford Coppola.
Yeah,
his cousin is Sofia Coppola. He's got another cousin who is Jason Schwartzman. Him and his family are essentially film/movie Hollywood royalty. He is a Coppola. He did change his name because he didn't want the nepotism that comes with being a Coppola. So I give him props for that, despite the fact that he still had, people who knew he was a Coppola, so he got some things because of that. He has made a name for himself by being himself. And he is extremely wise when it comes to the project that he takes on. He's not afraid to take on a lower budget thing. He's not afraid to take on serious roles, gimmicky roles. He's not afraid to take on little indie things like this. So the fact that he, with the experience that he has in the industry, with the knowledge that he has from experience, he just sat there and he's like, nah, this is going to be good. I can see it. I can see how this is going to be good. And I feel like more people have kind of come around to this one. And I kind of hope it becomes a cult classic. It's too young to tell on whether or not it will be, but I have a feeling that it might. And I think he kind of knew that. I think Cage was like, this one's going to age well. People are gonna like this one. People are gonna this is gonna be a good one. We're gonna, people are gonna like this one. How do you think Willy's Wonderland fits into the broader Cage cinematic universe?
Oh, Nicolas Cage, it's one of his best movies because I enjoy it. I actually enjoy most of Nicolas Cage's movies, but this one is just, for me, it's a comfort movie now. Like I'm one and done, with films, but this one I can watch on repeat.
Okay.
And the fact that he can deliver without saying a damn word.
Yeah.
This shows how good of an actor he is. And I know this is like one of the most underrated horror films, but go watch it. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
And, boost it up. Like, I know it's I know it probably is one of his most underrated films because not a lot of people talk about it, but it fits in his realm and it needs to blow up.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually loved the enormous weight of blah, 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 blah with him and Pedro Pascal. That was hilarious. He plays himself, essentially. But this one, he doesn't play himself. He just plays a dude doing a job and then kicking ass.
Yeah. Yeah.
No dialogue.
I think this fits extremely well into his cinematic universe. And I think this is more of like hee funny haha one for him. But it still is an excellent film. It's still extremely top tier. I mean, the janitor has no name. He has no backstory. There's no real explanation about the character in any way, shape, or form. All you know is he drives a fast car. He has that weird drink that he has to drink on a very specific time frame, and that he was passing through town. Like, that is all you know about the dude. There's actually one reviewer who kind of noted that the choice of Cage doing no dialogue kind of gives an audience a way of making like their own backstory for the character, but he's completely unbothered. And he takes his breaks, he drinks his soda, he plays his pinball, he fights the animatronics when he has to, because you can't say he didn't, like he was going out of his way to fight with them. He was walking right by them without any worries. But he did all of that with like this, I kind of like, it's a chore. I got this gorilla, I have to beat him up because I have to beat him up. This gator, I've got to beat up the gator because I have to beat up the gator. Especially like Ozzy the ostrich. He does that one, boom. It was like, I gotta do this. Damn it, now my shirt's dirty. I gotta go change my shirt. Like, he had a very like ho-hum thing about it all. But like, it worked. But how do you think, like, what do you think like that kind of character does for the audience on like a psychological level?
I mean, for me, it like Poster said, I came with my own backstory, for this character, and I liked it. I liked, the fact that he was ho hum about it. I liked the fact that he was like, "Oh, this is just another day. I need to get through this night. I want my car back.
Yeah,
and I want to keep on going to where I need to go." And because of that, I'm like, you have to be ex-military, man. You take your breaks on time. You drink your juice on time. You have your little R&R playing the pinball machine, and then you go back to fighting. And it's like he's been through enough life to see whatever. You know,
Yeah.
I'm like, is this your first rodeo? Fighting like strange shit. I was like, were you like an ex? You know, for me, it was like he was an ex-military, probably like with the X-Files, going to clean up the shit
Yep.
that, Mulder and Scully couldn't clean up. And they'd had to call him the cleaner. That's why his name's the janitor. And that's why he's like all nonchalant about it.
Yeah.
He's like, whatever, it's another day. And I believe he was going to like, his next stop of cleaning up this shit that the X-File people couldn't clean up.
Okay. That's actually a cool theory. I kind of dig it. I think it really does work because he's a character. And like what you need to know, you know. But if you're somebody who needs more, the world is literally your fucking oyster on like where you want to go with that. And I don't know. I think it worked really well. It did put you on edge a little bit as an audience because you're like, what is he going to do next? But then at the same time, like halfway through the film, you're like, oh, he's going to clean, he's going to take his breaks, and then he's going to kick ass. That's it. That's all he does. And you're like, all right, I've caught the pattern. I'm good to go.
It'd be kind of cool to have like a whole series of just the janitor cleaning up people's shit.
Right.
The X-Files shit. I'm like,
that would be kind of cool. That would be.
Like, you forgot this monster over here. Let me go clean it up for you. And that's the reason why he's like so silent, because he's like,
yeah.
Maybe he lost a partner or two, and he's like, you know what? Let me just not talk with anybody.
Yeah. And I feel like that works with like the ending and how, he just looked over at her. She's like, okay, I'm joining. But she became silent too, where she's like, all right, we don't have to talk. She just got in the car, accepted the soda when he offered the soda, and continued on. This kind of developed a cult following online, like almost immediately, like when it kind of came up. What do you think? What is it about this kind of B-rated movie type thing that kind of creates that kind of fan base?
I mean, I think it's for me, it's like you could have a crazy ass story like this as a person, and you can make it big. Like, even though it wasn't a big movie, a big success, because they didn't make that much in the box office.
Yeah.
But it makes an ordinary person like me, like if I have a story that's weird and wonky, I can make it. I can make this movie, and it gives me hope, for other indie work, because it has that indie feel to it, and it's not big budgeted. It's not Hollywood. I think most people are burned out on Hollywood.
Yeah.
And something like this is like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
And so, like, you have all these big budgeted movies, you have all the CGI, you have all the fight sequences, and you have all this, that, and the other. This only took $5 million. They didn't have to have billions. It took $5 million. And it has hope for, it gives you hope as a young, struggling writer or script writer or whatever, that you too can make a movie like this. And it can be just as good.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I feel like, especially now, I think there's so many people who want original content. They want something that isn't tied to like another IP, but at the same time, we kind of talked about it with the Popeye episode. There is like that need for nostalgia at the same time. And I think this movie hits all of that. It gives you the nostalgia. It gives you the fresh, new take on things. It has everything you need to draw it in, but then at the same time, it's new. It's fresh. It's not something that you're going to see a million versions of. Like, don't get me wrong. I love my slashers, but there's a million of them. Every time you turn around, a new slasher has come out. And it's great. Don't get me wrong. I love them. But at the same time, it's a pretty like standard formula. And you kind of know, like going in, you kind of know everything that's going to happen.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice to like go into like this and going, I don't know what's going to happen. And you don't. You go in and it's pretty open for you. Granted, this is a small budget. Granted, this is kind of on the indie-ish side. To be, B-movie type deal. Do you think that Willy's Wonderland deserves more of like a serious critical attention as a piece of horror comedy? Or do you think it's just better that it kind of sits as it is?
I think it's better kind of sitting out as it is, because most like B-rated movies have start getting their own cult classic, become cult classics for certain niche people, and I don't much care for like the big huge Hollywood hoopla on movies. I like Willy's the way it is in its own little lane. And then do I will it move out of its lane? Probably, but for me, it's in its own little world, being happy, like a little guppy in the pond. Just keep swimming, just keep swimming.
Just keep swimming, swimming, swimming. What do we do? We swim, swim. Sorry, got a little taken away there.
Yeah, I mean it's Willy Wonderland is a little guppy that just needs to keep swimming.
Yeah. I don't think it needs more critical attention. I think movies like it should get more media attention, not necessarily critical. Because to be perfectly honest, the critics, most of them have their heads up their butts. Like they don't enjoy films the way that they should anymore. So critical attention, not necessarily, but media attention, yeah. I think fans of movies, people who really love film, and especially people like our fellow horrorholics who really love horror, they should be paying more attention to films like this. That's why I think down the road, this could definitely be a cult classic. And I think it's because it's steady, it's solid, it's a good film, but it means people need to see it. And yeah, I hope more people do see it, especially since it was free on Tubi for us to watch.
Yeah, it's free.
So obviously this movie being released during COVID times kind of made things a little weird. It had a $5 million budget. However, it only grossed $457,000 theatrically, but it has a massive life on streaming. What do you think that says about horror and where it lives and how people are seeing it? I mean, I feel like we need to keep in mind that this came out during COVID times when, theaters weren't quite open. So
yeah, like I mean, a lot of movies that came out during COVID didn't do so well in the box office because no one's going to see them. And most of them are having, a great, fantastic time on streaming. And it shows you that, people who miss out during certain things will find a way to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And streaming is one of the ways that they enjoy it. And the fact that, Willy's Wonderland is having such a surge online streaming tells you that, okay, so y'all didn't do well in the box office, but you're doing well here. And it's also a great, fun movie to watch not with the family, but, with friends. And I like watching it. I actually watch it by myself because I watched it with my mom. My mom was like, that's funny. But, I watch it by myself because it's a comfort movie. And I enjoy watching it because I catch little things that I missed before. And, and I try to change like some things in my head to like, make it, even more impressive or to add backstory to like certain things. But because, streaming is the way to go. Yeah. I hate to say it, but it is the way to go. Of course, I'm paying an arm and a leg for streaming services when I could still be paying for cable, but you don't get to watch what you want to watch on cable. And I think that's one of the reasons why people, why this is having such a good surge on, streaming platforms, because right now it's free on Tubi and also Play-Doh TV. And sometimes, every once in a while, it'll hop to a different streaming station. So you might have a favorite streaming station on, Prime. At one point it was on Prime. And that's where the first time I saw it was on Prime. And so you have people who have their streaming stations. And so because of, what it is and where it's located, you're going to watch it anyways. Even if it's going to be like on Netflix, Tubi, whatever, because they'll drop a roster and then bring a roster back.
Yeah. It's all about
that's
buying
what it is. Yes. But don't buy it, guys. I mean, you can buy it. If you love it enough, you buy it. But if you want to watch it for free, you can watch it free.
Yeah.
Stream the shit out of it.
Yeah. Stream the shit out of it. Definitely. I think I think this is a movie that actually would have done well in theaters had they been open the way that they could have been open.
Oh, yeah.
And I still understand that, like, people don't go to the movies the way that they used to. People don't go to the movies because they don't want to deal with people who don't have movie etiquette or movie theater etiquette. Like, I kid you not, if I've gone to the movie theater to see a movie, 9 times out of 10, it is on a Tuesday afternoon because nobody's in the theater. And a local theater near me does discounted movie tickets on that day. So I'm like literally the only one in the theater. And that is how I prefer to do my movies. Now, it doesn't mean that I'm not going to go to an opening night. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to go on some other time with friends or family or whatever. But, you know, going to the movies to see a movie, like I want to go see the movie Obsession and I do want to see it in the theater. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, when do I have a Tuesday while it's still in theaters? Because movies are like only in theater for like a week and a half. It feels like.
Yeah, depending on the draw of it, yeah.
Which theaters, please go back to like how they did it back in the day, where like a movie was in the theater for like a month, almost 2 months. Like keep it in the theater a little longer because like I need it. I need it in there a little longer. It's a matter of like, okay, when do I have a day that I can go? When do I have time where it's not going to like interfere with other things that I have going on? And is it still going to be in the theater? And it's annoying. And we're going into summer, which means my Tuesday afternoons are going to probably have teenagers in the theaters. And I hate teenagers. So I'm going to be like, nope, never mind.
I mean, yeah, because, you know, it depends on the movie, too, because I've seen some movies stay for like a month to 2 months.
Yeah.
And then some movies are like, well, you didn't make any money, so bye.
Yeah.
The fuck?
But it's one of those, like, there was no marketing for it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, at the same time, like there's so many variables onto how well a movie's going to do in the theater. There's just too many fucking variables. I think this movie would have done well. I just think it was released in a time frame where I don't think many movies would have done well. And the only reason I think FNAF, the first one, did well in comparison to this one is because they linked up with Peacock and did a specific streaming release type deal. I think that is the only reason why that one had quote unquote more success. Where do you think this film, so Willy's Wonderland, sits for great horror comedies for you?
I've seen a lot of horror comedies, and I say this was my second best one.
Mm-hmm.
My first one will have to be like Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
That's why, you know, I love the movie so much because I'm like, you have fighting, you have cursed objects, you have a group of teenagers that kind of are like Scooby-Doo-ish, but not really Scooby-Doo-ish, that, you know, get sucked in by watching animatronics sing. And I'm like, you know, going in, what they do, mesmerized by them singing.
Mm-hmm.
Ass will be running and not get stabbed. But the death scenes were amazing. Perverted alligator.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is my number 2. Like, I will watch Shaun of the Dead, and then I'll probably watch Willy.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, this sits up there for me. This is a good horror comedy for me. And I do tend to enjoy horror comedies quite a bit. They do tend to be my background comfort films. It hits all the things that I wanted to hit for like a horror comedy. So it, you know, would I say this is like one of the greatest of the greats? No, but at the same time, I put it in the top 10, you know, possibly top 5, depending on the day, you know. Now we're going to kind of get to like the part that like most people are probably wanting us to do, which is comparing Willy's Wonderland to Five Nights at Freddy's, because they both, Five Nights at Freddy's and Willy's, were kind of created around the same time frame. So they share very similar premise, definitely different origins, budgets, and whatnot. Should we be comparing these two films? And if we do, who do you think kind of comes out on top?
I mean,
like, how would you compare them?
Comparing them, you have to look at the animatronics,
Mm-hmm.
how they both look. They sort of kind of, have almost a similar plot, but not really a similar plot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have cursed animatronics, but one dude cursed his animatronics and still alive, and the others killed themselves. One has a bigger budget and had better marketing. The other one, yeah, it had marketing. It had a $5 million budget, but it came out at a wrong time.
Mm-hmm.
But if I were to compare them, because I saw Willy first and I knew nothing of it, but my expectations was high, I enjoyed that movie tremendously. And then I saw FNAF, and I knew nothing about FNAF. And the first movie was kind of like, meh. But the second movie, this FNAF Part 2, was great. I enjoyed it.
Okay.
I would, if I had to, compare it, I would put FNAF 2 first, and then Willy's, and then FNAF 1. But if we're going by FNAF 1, Willy's would beat that, hands down.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I feel like it's safe to say, like, you can compare them because the premise is very similar. I mean, the haunted Chuck E. Cheese portion of it works, but the meat of everything is very different between the two. I think because they had a different budget, they had a different timeline, they were able to do more things with FNAF that I think added to the quality that Willy's didn't get to have. And it's simply because they just didn't have the budget or the time frame to do it. But outside of that, I think the writing for Willy's was stronger. I like FNAF, and I actually prefer the games over the movies. And I think part of that is because I feel like I'm not a big fan of Mike, the character Mike in FNAF. He annoys the shit out of me. And I didn't have a character in Willy's that did that.
Like, even my younger niece was annoyed by him. She was like, and she's like 8, and she was like, what the hell? It's like, he needs to get over himself. I'm like, even though she doesn't like horror movies, she's like, she watched a movie for the first time because her sister watched it, and she was like, he needs to get over himself.
Which one
I don't like him.
Which one likes FNAF?
Oh, that'd be the older one.
The older one? Okay.
Yeah. Even the older one was kind of like, None. She was like, I was like, damn, that's all you have to say about Mike? She's like, yeah.
Yeah.
If my two nieces are like, he needs to get over himself, yeah.
Yeah, babes, he does. He does. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Mike. I think there's like aspects that are very comparable. So, it's cool to be like, oh, this one's better than this one. Like animatronics, FNAF hands down. Sorry, Willy. Like FNAF just has it there. However, I am going to sit there and say, I think overall, Willy's is the better film. I think Willy's has a better story. I think they have better fights. It's just overall more enjoyable to watch. And again, it's not to say that FNAF isn't a good film. It's not to say it's not, doesn't have its place. I just think Willy's is just more enjoyable to watch overall, for me personally. If Willy's got a sequel, though, honestly, I think it should. But what would you want from the sequel?
I mean, will it be called Willy's Wonderland, to be honest? Because he already killed all the animatronics.
Well,
I mean, he didn't kill
Siren Sarah.
Siren, yeah, she's still alive. And poor Tito, I mean, he got ran over, but you don't know if he's still alive or not. But, if I were to, see a sequel, like I said earlier, I would rather have the janitor going around cleaning up people's messes, supernatural messes, like the ones that got away, or the ones that nobody ever heard of, because he took care of it. Because I just rather have it like a show with the janitor. Really.
Right?
I don't care for a sequel to Willy's. I just rather have a show with the janitor, just doing what he does with his now partner Liv, just cleaning up shit after everybody else. I mean, and everyone will have good storylines. I mean, there's good monster storylines out there. But if you take all the supernatural sci-fi stories from Warehouse 13,
Yeah.
Supernatural, Fringe, and they're just going up cleaning up the shit that, they missed.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
That would be funny. That would be funny.
But she like Liv will be the talker of the whole and he's like,
Right. And then each and every time they're just like, he doesn't talk much, does he? Personally, I don't want a sequel. I want a prequel. I want to know, like, they kind of tell you the backstory, but I want the backstory. I want what happened before they got to okay, I guess we're gonna have to sacrifice everybody. Or sacrifice strangers kind of thing. That's where I'm personally at. Could there be a sequel? Yeah. I know that the guy who created all this had talked about like writing a sequel for it. But to see where Cage or the janitor and Liv, the adventures that they go on, yeah, that'd be cool to kind of see like what else that they do. But I don't think it would necessarily need to be, a true sequel, But it is that time for us to wrap up our fun little episode talking about Willy's Wonderland. So we like to do our final thoughts. We like to give a skull rating. We give 1 through 5 skulls. 1 because they tried. 5 because it's just that fan-fucking-tastic. So, Karen, what are your final thoughts on this film?
Oh, like I tremendously enjoy Willy's just because for the fact that it has no dialogue. He refused to have dialogue, and he just acts out everything through emotions and grunts.
Mm-hmm.
And for some odd reason, you understand. Like he just looks, and you're like, "Oh yeah, I understand that look." Themselves were pretty cool. The gorilla death scenes are great. I would have to give it a 4 because of the animatronics.
Okay.
Like literally, the animatronics was like, I know what type of bitch you're going for, but still, Sarah the Siren. That, yeah.
I would give this a 4. And on a very generous day, it might go up to a 4.5. But this is a solid 4. The animatronics, yeah, definitely could have been better. But overall, it was a great film. It was fun to watch. Nick Cage knocked it out of the park like he always does. The other actors and actresses in this were actually really good. The premise was great. There really wasn't a whole lot that was lacking. Yeah, and like you, this is a comfort movie for me. So thank you for introducing it. Thank you for adding it to our list of movies we have to watch. But our fellow horrorholics, thank you so much for clocking in for the night shift with us on Willy's Wonderland. Kind of proves that sometimes all you need is the right actor, some animatronics, and absolutely zero dialogue to make something truly magical and slightly unhinged. You guys are the best listeners in the world. We love each and every horrorholic that listens to the show. We are very grateful for each and every single one of you, and we cannot express how much we love and appreciate your guys' support. You guys are seriously the best horrorholics. But Karen, where can they find you?
You can find me in several locations: Facebook, Instagram, Threads, X, formerly known as Twitter, TikTok, and Reddit.
Groovy. And I am Spill Tea. You can find me in all the things at Spill Tea Wine Medium Mind. Which of Willy's Wonderland animatronics would you, with the help of the janitor's cleaning supplies, would you want to take on in a dark hallway? Come let us know. We want to hear from you, so drop it in the comments, slide into our DMs, or you can email us at earthstationboo@gmail.com. But don't forget to subscribe, follow, rate, and share so other fellow horrorholics can find us if you haven't already. Come join the conversation on our Discord. You can find all of the links in our link tree. And don't sleep on the merch store. It's summertime. We got some cute tanks. We got some fun stickers. We're about to add some water bottles. So go check it out. Movie nights are going to be on Sundays. So keep an eye out in our Discord and stay weird, stay spooky, our fellow horrorholics. That's a wrap for Station Boo. Thanks for listening. Follow, share, and find all our links in our link tree. Until next time, stay spooky.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping for the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.